Yo, YouTube, it's time for a mail day video. I don't do these as often as I used to, but I do have one piece of mail here that I wanted to share on camera. It's kind of unique, and I wanted to show some alternative ideas to some card buying and flipping that maybe you hadn't thought of before. But anyway, let's get started. So it's this big box of cards here. There was a few tall cards that didn't fit in it, were kind of laying in there, so I just had those laying out. But what we've got here is a huge lot. I think it's like 360 cards from Sports Illustrated for Kids, so you can see all the perforated edges there. And I thought it would be fun to take a look at what's in here. I'll show you what the asking price was, what I ended up paying, and you can decide for yourself what kind of value is in there. I'm going to get rid of my laptop. I forgot that was there. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. So since I have these pulled out of the box, we'll just start with these. These are great right here. The Tiger Woods Player of the Year. They're not in perfect shape, but they're in really good shape. They were torn out nice. They've been kept pretty clean. Yeah. I was looking, I had to try to comp a bunch of this stuff for obvious reasons because I'm going to resell them. And I had trouble comping some of them, which is unusual. You would think Tiger Woods stuff sells so regularly. But I did see one of these sold for $24 by it, best offer. Went for best offer, which I think is a little high because I've seen even graded ones go a little bit less than that. But you know, if I can get, well, let me just put the image on the screen there of what I paid for this. So the asking price was $140, and I got it best offer for $85 plus shipping. I think there was, I don't know, $8 or $10 shipping. You'll see there on the screen. But I thought that was a heck of a deal for how many cards are in here, and there's some pretty good ones besides. But anyway, I was looking at when I started, these were the very first 4 cards I saw. So I have about 348 cards left, something like that. And I think I can do $10 a piece on these. So you're looking at half of my money, almost half of my money back in these 4 cards if I get 10 a piece. Even at 5 a piece, I get a quarter of my money back in 4 cards. But wait, there's a lot more and a lot of big names and a lot of interesting cards. So the other tall ones here, we've got a Gretzky. Of course, that's always going to have a draw. Pretty good shape. The tall ones I was worried about a little bit just because they're so hard to store and all that. It might be a little bit tougher sell because of that too. But then we've got Marcus Allen, who was the Super Bowl MVP that year. I think these are from a 98, January 98 issue. But then we've got some Jordans. I think there's 2 of them in here. Hold on, there's another one in here somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, I think it's just the 2. So there's this one here, which is best of 98. You're looking at another $15 or so for the Jordans. And then here's the great playoff moments Jordan. Got this great Bobby Orr one where he's getting thrown down to the ice. Playoff moments. There's a McGuire. Larry Bird. Yeah, this is awesome. This Baseball Legends, Honus Wagner. It does have some paper loss up there, a tear along the perforation, but what a cool looking card. Elway, of course, they won the Super Bowl. Marion Jones, who was track and field star then. She doesn't really have any other cards, so that one might have a good draw. This one I was really pleased with, condition-wise and stuff. This I might keep for my PC. I do have some Bart Starr stuff I hang on to, but I love this card. I know it's the taller cards, but sometimes that looks nice in a card. Here's Steve Young, who's Super Bowl MVP. Another Legends pitcher, Bob Feller. This one's really cool. Lou Brock sliding into second, I think. I'm assuming second base. I guess it could be third base. But anyway, he held the stolen base record for a long time until, actually it wasn't, I don't think it was that long, because Ricky Henderson broke it. Ricky Henderson holds that record. It does have a little bit of a crease in it, but what an amazing image. Again, captured the best on the tall card. Is a Lynn Swan, another Super Bowl MVP. And then check this out, Mickey Mantle. Another Baseball Legends. Unfortunately, it does have a little bit of a tear there at the bottom. Whoever ripped it out didn't have enough. Wasn't quite careful enough, but what an amazing card. Looks nice in color. You don't see, not every Mickey card is in color. Looks nice that way. So those are literally just the tall cards. I think I could get more than the $80 just off of those. And I still have this whole box here. The person did top load, or not top load, did sleeve some of the best cards, if you want to call them that. So we'll leave those for the end. So stick around, you'll want to see those. So these first ones here are pretty cool. These are the Got Milk campaign cards. So you've got Alex Rodriguez, you got Reggie Miller, Andy Pettitte, Kevin Johnson. A little bit of strange paper tear there on that one. Glenn Robinson. Yeah, if you look at the back here, it's got a milk tip. Where's your mustache? So this was all, you know, to promote dairy products, if you will, which I think that's probably gone in the other direction a little bit more these days. But again, this one's got a little bit of a tear to it. Brevin Knight, I don't even know who that is. These were interesting because Topps actually produced these in the magazine before it was just Sports Illustrated for kids, and their own photographers did them. Eddie Jones, Dikembe Mutombo, Scott Rowland with the milk stash, Darren Erstad. Now, I'm pretty sure that that's not actually a milk mustache on any of these. I'm pretty sure it's just something that's photo edited. But I don't know, maybe they give them like some chalk or something, put on their face, take the photo. I don't really know. That's crazy. Vladimir Guerrero, love that. Senior, of course. Jason Kendall, Tony Clark, Tim Hardaway, Jason Williams, big crease in this one. Nomar Garciaparra. These ones do not have tops on them, and obviously they aren't any kind of licensed because they don't, there's nothing on the hat and stuff. So I don't know, I'll have to look into those a little bit. There's a few racing cards in here, which is kind of fun. I don't normally buy any racing stuff, so it'd be cool to have a few cards in there. And that's probably the best part about Sports Illustrated for kids, just the sheer variety of it. But here's Tony Pendragon, a NASCAR driver. Logan Tom, who's a volleyball player for Team USA. Vince Carter. I haven't comped a lot of these. I know it's easy money in the end. We'll go over a few bigger ones, you know, as I pull them up. But, you know, any of these where it's like a first-year card do pretty well. You know, obviously any of the bigger names, Vince Carter's a pretty big name, so should do pretty well with that. Allison Dunlop was a biker. This one was cool. Vivian Wegrath, she was a sky surfer. Is a sky surfer. I don't know if she's still doing it. That's why I say was, not that she's passed on or anything, just I don't know if they're involved in that sport anymore. These were from 1999. So pretty cool. Tara Hamilton, who's a wakeboarder. Jimmy Pedro is a judo player. I mean, just sheer variety. Somebody's going to be interested in these cards that these sports don't have any cards of. This is Deborah Campagnoni, downhill skier. Skier cards have done pretty well. I've sold some pretty good Team USA cards for decent money. It's Wilson Kipketer. It's a runner. I think these are 99 as well. 97, so these are earlier. Vinny Testaverde. This is the same year that or the same design that the Tiger Woods rookie came out of. So Bruce Smith, that's cool. And there's a ton of this kind of stuff. This stuff always really interests me. So this is Dominique Marciano, I believe is how you pronounce it. She's a Team USA gymnast, but they put them in, they draw pictures of them and they have them in like alternate characters. So this one is Little Red Riding Hood. So just really cool. She doesn't have any cards. There's the Little Red Riding Hood tie-in. There's, you know, Sports Illustrated is a known brand. They're just super cool. And a lot of these didn't survive. People didn't hang on to them. They, you know, they got rid of the magazines. They burned them up. Whatever. The cards got ripped up. They're condition sensitive by nature because they're just a little bit more cardstock than a newspaper or than a magazine page, but not by a whole lot. And you had to tear them out. Some people cut them out. I think my issues when I was a kid, I actually just cut them instead of tearing them on the dotted line, and they're not as valuable when they're cut. So these are all torn out, which I really like. So this is Sharky. This is a mascot for the San Jose Sharks. It's pretty cool. Again, mascots don't generally get cards. Piazza, I think this is the first Piazza card. He was a rookie in 93, I want to say. This is a 1998 card. So I'll have to go back and check for sure. There's a little bit of fuzz at the top, but good news is I can pull that off, and then the card is in pretty darn good shape. Tad of paper loss up there, but so I will be listing each one of these individually, of course, because the condition can be so different from card to card. Jeff Bagwell, I think he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's gotten the vote yet, but I think this is a player that will end up in. He was amazing, so that's kind of fun. Then we've got some swimming. This is Jenny Thompson. So swimmer in the Olympics. Again, got the little tab on top, but I can tear that off. There's a little bit on the bottom there. So some of these where they're not in great shape, it's only because there's extra paper on them, not paper missing. Jason Kidd, of course. An NBA star. Here's Ivan Maholi, was a tennis player back in 97. Of course, you got Barry Sanders. Some of these highly collected players like this, I list Sports Illustrated cards for them, and I can get $4 to $5 a piece just for random ones. Doesn't have to be like their first year one or anything like that. So this one's in really nice shape. So I'll probably list this for $5. So there's a lot of value in these big piles of cards. Here's a Rice. Never go wrong with any Jerry Rice cards. This one I was kind of excited about, but yeah, as you can see, it has issues up here. So that's going to be a problem, especially because it's part of his name is torn off. But this is Ed Belfour, of course, Hall of Fame hockey player. Kendall Gill. So just lots of cards of players I don't have, too. So I'm trying to sort of build out a little bit and have something to offer for everybody, and one-stop shop kind of thing. Fatuma Roba was another marathon runner. She's from Ethiopia. Ty Law from the Patriots. It's got a big fan base. That one might do all right. He was a cornerback, so it doesn't have quite as many cards as some of the other positions. This one's great. Brett Hull, the Hall of Fame winger for I think he was a winger, right? Yeah, right wing for the St. Louis Blues, and it's in primo shape. So again, I'll have to comp a lot of these. I did not comp this one, but I'm guessing I could get $7 to $10 for it. So I'm excited about that. Here's an earlier Merino. It's a 97 Merino Sports Illustrated for kids. Again, the big names. These are the kind of cards that a lot of the collectors are after now because they have all the base and pack inserted stuff, and they're looking for the different things. This one's in really good shape too. Here's a Jeff Hornacek. So any of these ones that aren't big names or don't have a big collector base, as long as they're undamaged and stuff, will probably do at $3 a piece, and then take offers and hope to get $2.5 for them, but the bigger names will do obviously better than that. Ken Griffey, I like how they spell out Junior on there. Pretty funny. This was when he was with the Reds a little later in his career. David Wells, pitcher for Toronto. So again, lots of baseball stuff. I don't have a lot of baseball, so I thought it was a fun way to get some of that in there. Drew Bledsoe, great quarterback for New England. Was their star quarterback. Let's see, I already got that little tab off. Was their star quarterback and started in a Super Bowl against the Packers, which of course he lost. A little paper loss on the bottom there. And then of course he got injured and lost his job to a little quarterback by the name of Tom Brady, and was never quite the same career for Bledsoe after that. Kevin Hartman, he was a goalkeeper for the Galaxy. Some soccer in there. I've done really well with the Sports Illustrated for Kids WNBA stuff. This was, of course, before they made cards for WNBA players. So in many cases, it's the only card for that player. So those that are getting into the WNBA cards, they kind of have to go after some of the Sports Illustrated for Kids stuff to get some of those earlier players in the league. This one is amazing. Has a lot of extra paper on it, which again, extra paper, not bad. Missing paper, bad. A little bit missing on the bottom there, but not terrible. This awesome Ken Griffey Jr. as Cat in the Hat. Love this stuff. I think these are the kinds of things that long term will have some really cool interest in them as the market expands. This one too, Marion Jones. Again, she was the track and field star at this time, and she's dressed up as Atalanta. Some extra paper on this one, and then a little bit of loss down there, so not bad. I can get this extra paper off pretty easily, so I'll have a little bit of work to do on some of these, which is kind of strange when you're just dealing in cards, but it's a Curt Schilling, really, really nice shape. Nothing wrong with this one. Heck of a pitcher back in his day. John Wetland. Again, a little extra paper on these. Not a big deal. I can get those off. A little paper lost on the side though. So if you're ever, and I buy a lot of sheets of these and then I tear them out myself because I know they're going to be torn out correctly if you get them for the right price. So if you're ever tearing these out, just be very careful. Do a lot of wiggling back and forth with the paper and such, and still until the perforation basically just gives away on its own, and you can simply tear them apart. This is Griffey with the Upper Deck brand. So they were kind of advertising the Upper Deck set that was coming out. So that's cool. Again, anything Griffey, better than base price for sure. There's another rare card of a pretty accomplished tennis player, Martina Hingis. I don't know what else she has for Sports Illustrated cards or Ace cards or any of that. So again, I have to comp this. I probably should have done some of that comp work before I made this video. I do have a few comped, and I just got excited and went for it. But anyway, so this is her as Pippi Longstocking. So again, just the kind of the funny mashup thing, a couple different properties. These were really cool. This was the part of the April Fool's Day stuff. So you've got Mike Piazza as a catcher for the Mets, but he has a hockey stick and some goalie gear. Goalie stick and some goalie gear on. Really, really bad Photoshop. Photoshop's come a long way since then, but still pretty funny nonetheless. So you can see it says April Fool's Day card. And, you know, true collectors, Piazza collectors, they love stuff like this. I do. You know, as a Favre collector, one of the first things I went after was some of the cool Sports Illustrated for Kids stuff, like the the pirate, where he's got the patch on his eye and the pirate chest and the hat and stuff. That card was not in this lot, but I do have a couple copies of that. Just a really cool card. Okay, Stephon Marbury. Again, I don't know if this was his first card or rookie year or anything like that, so take a look at that. Here's another tennis. Actually, this is racquetball. Michelle Gould. Guarantee you this is her only card in history, so it's in really nice shape. There's probably somebody looking for a Michelle Gould card that's really into, even if it's just a family member or just somebody who's really into racquetball, who knows. Tino Martinez with the Yankees. Here's Glenn Rice, NBA for the Hornets. Some of the more obscure names are the ones that sell the easiest and for the best prices. Ironically enough, they just don't have a lot of cards. This is Carla Overbeck, who was quite a star for the U.S. women's team soccer. That's good. That was kind of their, this was from '99, I think. Yeah, '99. This is sort of they're coming out. The team was getting very competitive and winning World Cups, and these players kind of brought that A game. This is the soccer playing dog named Sparky. So very, very strange stuff. Anything weird, I'm all into it. Here's Dory Sellinger, who's pretty cool. Doesn't have a leg there. She has like or is this a he? This must be a he. Yeah, sorry, it's a he. Facial hair. But anyway, he was missing the lower half of his leg, so he has like an amputee pedal attachment. Pretty sweet. Paralympic cyclist. Stuff like that is awesome. You're not going to get that in a prison box, right? Kerry Webb, a golfer. Golf stuff does very, very well. A little bit of a tear there, but not terrible shape. And this is from '97, I think. Yeah, so a lot of research is going to have to go into these to list them. This is going to be a bigger project that way. Here's Eric Lindros as a ballerina, hockey star for the Flyers. Yeah, Philadelphia Flyers. A little bit of paper loss up there. But yeah, it's just amazing. Johan Olav Kass, who is a speed skating legend from Norway. Again, probably doesn't have very many cards. They've made some Olympic cards over the years. This is a possibility, but yeah. So this is a midfielder for the Major League Soccer for the Dallas Burn, Jason Kreis. So here's like this one. This is for the Canucks, Pavel Bure. He's quite an accomplished player. I think he is married to Candice Bure, who is the star from Full House and Fuller House. So kind of interesting side note there. Dante Bichette, who of course his son is a bit of a star in the league now with Toronto, Bo Bichette. Decent paper loss there, but that's okay. We'll get around that on some of these. Here's Kenny Lofton. One of the guys I watched back in the early to mid '90s. He was a base stealer and for the Cleveland Indians. Here's Julie Brandt, who's an inline skater. A little bit of extra paper there. I can take care of that. Kind of interesting. This is Michelle Timms, who played for Australia for the national team, and then came to WNBA with the Phoenix Mercury. Early years of WNBA. These are kind of fun. These are what do they call these? Birthday celebration. Roger Clemens. So I don't know. And these are Topps again, so I don't know why Topps is on these, but must have been Sports Illustrated's birthday, I guess. I don't know. Pretty cool motocross. Ricky Carmichael. I vaguely remember the name. He was a star. Quite a star back then, won quite a few races, so there's probably a buyer for that one. Here's J.D. Drew, which is a Fleer Tradition. Made his debut that year. He was a pretty good baseball player. McGuire, early McGuire, Sports Illustrated card. Again, some extra paper on there. I can take care of that. No paper loss on it. Oh, there is a little bit up there. Chris Webber. Forward for the Warriors. Here's Ruthie Bolton Holifield. Again, very early WNBA stuff. I think those will go pretty quick. Terrell Davis, running back for the Broncos. Nice shape. Remember this guy, Eric Burgess. He was aerials skier. I think he won gold, I believe, at the Olympics. I think that's the reason these cards are gold. I think they were all gold medal winners, if I remember correctly. Another great early WNBA, Cleveland Rockers, Susie McConnell Serio. Randy Johnson, pitcher. There's a Jose Canseco. A little bit of extra there. Tear that off. As far as I know, this is one of her only golf cards. This is Se-Ri Pak, I believe is how you pronounce it. She was a heck of a golfer, so I think there's some money in demand in that one. Here's a Rod Woodson. Interesting, this is really late in his career when he went to the 49ers. And I think because he was with the Steelers? Yeah, he was with the Steelers for a long time. All right, we've got a Formula One race car driver. I think he's Formula One. Eddie Cheever. So Formula One is so big now. Yeah, he raced in the Indy 500. So that's pretty cool. Probably the only card of him. I think Christine Clark, who's a marathon runner from Alaska. There's another Pavel Bure. Played with the Panthers. Ron Hornaday, I think he's a truck racer. Very interesting. Mike Miller, who was a guard for the Magic. That's earlier stuff, I think. 97, I believe that was. Here's a McGuire with the Pacific logo on it. So they teamed up with some of the card manufacturers and just made some Sports Illustrated edition cards to tear out. Here's another one with Upper Deck, Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken stuff sells really well, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Marshall Faulk. Star. This one's cool. Jackie Stiles, another WNBA, Portland Fire. So I think these things are long term. I think there's a good place for these. Trinity Johnson, who is a star pitcher for U.S. softball. Lisa Wagner, a bowler. This one's cool. Iverson. So this would have been 99, so a couple of years into his career. Vanessa Atler, gymnast. Gymnast stuff does pretty well. Obviously, the bigger names, do a little better. Mitch Richmond, but again, you don't have gymnast cards, so Mitch Richmond. Here's this one's cool. Mike Modano. He was always one of my favorite hockey players. Played center for the Stars for a lot of years. I think he won a couple cups. Stanley Cups. Trevor Hoffman, Hall of Fame pitcher. And then we're back to our mantles here, so get our next stack out. A U.S. women's soccer star again, Daniel Fotopoulos, I believe it's Fotopoulos. Apologies if I butcher the names. Some of these names, you don't see very often or see at all. Here's Eddie Jones. Jamal Anderson, running back with the Falcons. Brian Grant. This one was fun when I saw Karch Karai. He was quite a big name for a while when beach volleyball was really, really kicking. And he played obviously in the Olympics and stuff too. Pedro Martinez, great pitcher for Boston. Peter Nowak, Chicago Fire. So, Major League Soccer there. Dikembe Mutombo, pretty cool. Don't have a lot of Dikembe stuff. Vin Baker. Remember him when he was with Milwaukee. He was quite a player. There's another really good one. I don't know how many cards he has, but can't be very many. Carl Lewis, quite a legend in U.S. Olympic history, so I imagine that one will do well. Teemu Selanne, another big hockey star in the 90s with the Mighty Ducks. Oops. So, pretty cool there. Tim Duncan, highly, highly, highly underrated NBA player. Chris Carter, the all-pro wide receiver from Vikings. Corinne Ruby is a snowboarder. Snowboarding is my favorite event in the Winter Olympics, so that's pretty cool. It's another cyclist, Marco Pantani. Mark Messier, quite a big name, played for the Rangers forever. I assume he's in the Hall of Fame. I guess I don't know much about the NHL Hall of Fame, but here's Missy Giov, cyclist. Looks like she does some kind of off-track type cycling. Here's another Duncan. Isla Borders, another pitcher for softball. Ross Powers, another snowboarder. Kevin Green, with his long blonde hair. He sort of was a trendsetter. Now the long hair is back again. That's him with the Panthers. David Cohn, all-star pitcher with New York. Sharif Abdur-Rahim, basketball. This one's cool. Randall Cunningham with the Vikings. Love Randall Cunningham. Steve Young. Mookie Blaylock. Sammy Sosa, who was my guy back in the day. A little bit of extra material on there. Easy to tear off. No paper loss. Stephon Marbury. This guy, this is one of my favorites. Ricky Henderson with the Mets. Buy a lot of Ricky stuff. This one's cool. Sled Dog Racing. Doug Swingley. 99.9% sure this is the only dog sled card of him. Martin Brodeur. So we had the other one that was kind of ripped up, which was unfortunate, but this one's in really, really nice shape. So I was excited to see another Brodeur in there. I really enjoyed watching him play when I used to watch a lot of hockey when I was a kid. Cheryl Howarth, so weightlifter. Pretty cool. Peter Forsberg, played with the Avalanche during their run of cups. Had a heck of a team. So I don't have much hockey either, so this allows me to round out some hockey stuff I have. Steve Francis. Ray Allen. This is another swimming legend. This is Janet Evans. Name sounds familiar. I'm assuming I watched her in the Olympics when I was a kid. Shannon McMillan. Always thought she was really good. Team USA women's soccer. Here's a big one. Greg Louganis. I think this is his only card. Might have one other one. A little bit of extra paper on there, but otherwise in really good shape. But heck of a diver. Blaine Wilson. This is another gymnast. Vitaly Scherbo. Legend gymnast, obviously. Here's Tom Dolan, a swimmer. And we've got David Robinson with the Olympics. In his Team USA jersey, pretty cool. A-Rod. Here's a big one. This is I believe this is the first Sports Illustrated Jeter. This is from 99. These go for pretty good money. I think $15, 10 to 15. So that one's a good one. Lenny Kreiselberg was a swimmer. Interesting to see all these. Eddie George, one of my favorite running backs to watch. Pippen, 97. Jessica Burke with fencing. It's pretty cool to have a fencer card. John LeClaire, nice hockey player there. Wheelchair racer, which I think that's so cool that that's a sport. How fun is that? I mean, if I was in a wheelchair, I think that would be amazing. Here's a little bit of paper loss on this one, but pretty cool. Luis Sauvage, or Savage, maybe, in Australia. Holly McPeak, another beach volleyball star. This one's pretty cool. Donovan Bailey's a sprinter, and it's him dressed up as the Flash. So these are the types of cards that really do it for me. Something different. Here's Vinny Castilla. Paul Correa, I remember him with Mighty Ducks. He was really good. Mo Vaughn. Oh, this one's still attached. Sweet, a Randy Moss. And this is 99, so this would be like a second-year Moss. So that's probably his first Sports Illustrated for Kids card, and then Mo Vaughn. So this is a good chance for me to kind of show you how I tear these out. So I fold them back and forth probably 1,000 times. Give it a little run along the edge there, just enough so that you don't, make an indent in the car with your nail. And then you eventually just have to have confidence and get it started. Separate it. It's not super complicated. There, now we got Randy Moss and Mo Vaughn. That's pretty cool. I think that Moss will do well. Marvin Harrison. Tara Dakitis, snowboarder. Scott Stevens with the Devils. Reggie Miller. Keith Van Horn. One of my favorite baseball players as a kid, Frank Thomas. He was quite a player. Elton Brand. Sean Kemp with the Cavs. Rob Moore, remember him, the Cardinals. Denny Nagel, who was a pitcher. I remember him with the Pirates, but this one he's with the Braves. Yolanda Griffith, again an early WNBA card. Susie O'Neill, swimmer. Darren Erstad. The Angels. This one I think is pretty cool. Bob Burnquist. Quite a legendary skateboarder in his time. I gotta look to see if this is the first one for him. Look at that picture. It's awesome. So, yeah, you can see some of his accomplishments down there, but that's pretty awesome. Love cards like that. Again, Jennifer Capriati. I think this might be her first Sports Illustrated for Kids card. This one should have some value. She was quite a tennis player. Edgar Martinez. Edgerrin James. Roman Turek. Jamal Lewis. Antonio McDyess. Dirk Nowitzki. This one should do pretty well. He was quite a popular star. Sun Wen for Major League Soccer. Luis Gonzalez. Dikembe Mutombo. Marshall Faulk. Eric Berghoist. We saw one of him earlier. It's an aerial skier. Carlos Delgado. Marlo Runyon, runner. I don't know much about wakeboarding, but I hear this guy was quite a star. Darren Shapiro. It's pretty cool. Claude Lemieux. Get a little extra there to tear off, but otherwise in great shape. And then we're back to our tall cards. So we've got, appreciate you sticking with me through this video. I know there's a lot here, but I think there was enough interesting stuff to make a whole video about it. This was one of my favorite pages of cards they ever did. It's the Halloween issue, and they did all these players and these different Halloween characters. There's Patrick Ewing as Frankenstein. These sell well too, so here's George Hackle, who's a loser. Maddie Nikinen, ski jumper. This is just, I don't know, these just amaze me that they exist. This is Tim Brown. So this is pretty cool. There were a bunch of these in here, and I couldn't really tell you comps because I can't remember, but I just because I was shopping for Sports Illustrated for Kids stuff, I know I saw some of this Tech Deck stuff listed, and they sold pretty well. So I don't know, kind of excited about those. Get a few bucks off of those. Susie Hamilton. Brad Friedel. Derek Downing, an inline skater. It's another tennis. Aranca Sanchez Vicario. Antoine Walker. Rod Strickland. John Stockton. Gary Payton. Another Jerry Rice. Rice stuff is so undervalued. Keyshawn Johnson. Rice is literally never going to be overtaken as the best receiver ever, and his stuff isn't worth anything. Not only that, it doesn't even sell. So even if you price it low, I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I guess I sell some Rice stuff here and there, but I don't buy a ton of it. It's extremely tough sell. Misty Hyman, the swimmer. Some extra paper on that one, so I'll have to work on that one, tear that off. Mark Chimura with the Packers. Tim Hardaway is one of my favorite guys to watch back in the day. Super nice condition card. Simeon Rice. Brady Anderson. Ashley Tappan, swimmer. This one's cool. Cal Ripken Jr. as the Tin Man. So some decent paper loss on this one, unfortunately, but still cool enough. Sandy Alomar Jr. He was amazing. Troy Aikman as Luke Skywalker. I mean, how freaking cool is that? As a huge Star Wars nerd, this is just awesome. Got a little R2-D2 in the background there. Yeah, this is... I might actually have to hang on to that. How cool is that? Jerry Rice. It's another Barry Sanders. John Smoltz. Larry Walker. Just sold some Larry Walker rookies. This guy was huge back in the day. Eddie Pope. Heck of a defender for the U.S. national team. Debbie Black. Another early WNBA. Pedro Martinez. These are kind of fun. Some of the animal athletes. Everybody remembers Twiggy. He was the water skiing squirrel. This one might actually sell pretty well. I don't know. Again, I'll have to look. If you know about any of these cards, leave a comment. You know, as I'm going here. Zeke, ball catching dog. He catches footballs. Crazy. Spencer, hurdling cat. Here's a Sammy Sosa. These are cool, the Skybox Thunder ones. Matt Williams. Vinny Testaverde. Underrated player. He was a heck of a quarterback for a super long time. Dante Culpepper. Katie Smith. Jennifer Gillum. Stephen Davis. Running back for the Redskins. Remember watching him. This is another birthday celebration, Mike Piazza. Tegla LaRope, she's a runner. Edgar Allan and Poe, the Ravens mascots. It's pretty sweet. A Shaq, I think this might be the first Shaq. Or maybe it's the first Lakers Shaq. I don't know, but that one will do really well. Kazuhiro Sasaki, Joe Sakic, another NHL legend. Leroy Glover. This one's cool. Super Hugo, the Hornets mascot. Just super cool stuff you never see. DC United's mascot Talon. Billy the Marlin for the Florida Marlins. I'm so excited. Teresa Edwards. She was an amazing basketball player with played on the Team USA on that card there. This is a wrestler, John Smith. Don't know who that is, but he's a legend, so he must have been good. Mark Recchi and Caroline Shawson, downhill. Sean Elliott, Regina Jacobs, track and field distance. Javon Curse, Ray Bork, certainly remember him. Biker Sherlock, who's a street loser. How cool is that? Look at that picture. He looks like a super happy dude. And you got Luis Gonzalez, Dana Stubblefield. This one's cool. Greg Maddux as Encyclopedia Brown. I don't know, so strange. Just some extra paper, it looks like, on this one, so easy. That'll be easy cleanup. Mike Allstott. This one's cool. Carl Malone as Gulliver from Gulliver's Travels, I presume. Paper loss on that one, but Christine Nordhagen, wrestler. This thanks for sticking with. This is quite a stack of stuff. Tina Thompson. Another Olympic legend. This is Vrani Schneider, downhill skier. Don't ever remember that name. Risa Smetanina. Oh, she's from Russia. Cross-country skier. This name looks familiar too, so I'm going to have to look this one. Fabiola da Silva. It's an inline skater. Inline skating was huge in the early to mid-90s. Mark Brunell, quarterback. This one's awesome. I wish it wasn't as damaged. Lisa Leslie, one of the most famous basketball players ever, has Supergirl. So I know that one has value. We'll have to see how it does with the damage. Nicholas Lindstrom, Brett Boone, Donovan McNabb. So these are like base cards, but not base cards because they were so underprinted compared to other things. Kevin Millwood. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of magazines printed too, but I don't know. These I feel like will always hold value and they'll always have some demand. Mark Ruiz, a diver. It's another Shaq card. Can never go wrong with Shaq stuff. Avery Johnson. Maurice Green, I remember him as a sprinter. This one's really cool. Cynthia Cooper. Again, another women's basketball legend, and this one's in perfect shape. It's her as an angel. I'm sure that one does well. OJ McDuffie. Ray Lewis. Ticha Penicheiro. Penicheiro, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Jason Sehorn. Legend in U.S. soccer, Brandy Chastain. So that is pretty cool. I think that's the only card of her as well. Really good shape, little extra paper there. I'll get that cleaned up, and that's pretty cool. All right, we've got our last little common stack, if you want to call it that, and then we've got a couple of our big bangers at the end. This is Rosie, the dunking baboon. It's crazy. Tricycle riding elephant Shirley. Jeff Gordon as the Artful Dodger. A little paper loss on that one, but Jeff Gordon stuff does well. Buster, the skating macaw. Secretariat Racing Pig. This guy was one of my favorites growing up as a soccer player. Kid in the at this time, Kobe Jones was somebody that I really looked up to. He's a great player. Lindsay Davenport, I think that might be one of her only tennis cards. In really nice shape. Jaromir Jagr, Ricky Waters, Neon Dion with the Cowboys, Herman Meyer, he's a skier. That name sounds familiar. Steve Kerr with the Bulls. So these are, I think this is a normal one. Yeah. Now we've got some of those April Fool's Day again. This one is insane. I didn't even know this existed, but I'm a huge Cubs fan, so it's like, it's crazy. So they got McGuire in a Cubs uniform, and it's part of that April Fool's set here. So that's awesome. John Elway throwing a pie. Another April Fool's. This one's oh no, this is just plain old Neymar. Neymar was one of my favorite athletes at the time. Here's another Tech Deck. Another Tim Duncan. I think the Duncans could do well. It seems like people are coming around on him. Adam Oates. Tim Hardaway. This is another Pacific one. Tony Gwynn. Here's another April Fool's. David Robinson dunking a soccer ball on a soccer pitch. It's awesome. I don't know why, I just love that kind of stuff. Teresa Weatherspoon, I definitely remember her. I think she was quite a star. Ruth Riley, some more WNBA stuff. Well, this would have been her in college. She's in a Notre Dame uniform there. Tim Hudson. Grant Hill. Juan Gonzalez. This one is great. Vince Carter as the Tasmanian Devil. That's just too cool. Not bad. A little ding down there, but otherwise in really good shape. These are hard to find in good shape. Glenn Robinson as Scooby-Doo. I mean, this stuff is just amazing. Katie Smith. This is definitely a legend. I don't think he has many cards out there. Matt Biondi is a swimmer. Team USA. Look at this thing. Randy Moss as Bugs Bunny. So these are amazing. Dunking Gorilla for the Phoenix Suns. He's been a well-known mascot for years. Same with this guy, Philly Fanatic. Gary Anderson, longtime kicker for the Vikings. Kristen Maloney, another gymnast. Roberto Alomar. Antonio Freeman, big name around here, of course, in Green Bay. Ricardo Alfonso. Catherine, I'm going to probably get this name wrong. Catherine Ndareba? Ndareba? If the N is pronounced, I don't know. Jimmy Smith. John Stockton. Manny Ramirez. Alexei Kovalev. Inger Miller. Scott Gomez. Carolyn Curl. Extreme Athlete. I don't know exactly what that means, but pretty cool. Biking on a snow hill, it looks like. It's crazy. Warren Sapp. Jason Kidd. This was when he had the white hair. So weird. Got a couple racing ones here. Colin McRae. I think these are just NASCAR. Matt Kenseth. Definitely know that name. Dale Jarrett. Know that name. John Force. Mark Martin. These are all Ford drivers, so I'm guessing Ford ponied up for that run. Todd Helton. Scott Shipley as a whitewater slalom racer. Steve Berline. Vlad the Impaler Guerrero. They should have had a Vlad the Impaler art card. That would have been fun for him. Jason Kendall. I think this one would do pretty well. It's him as Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. It's pretty darn cool. In perfect shape, too, so like that one. This one I'm really excited about. I was a big fan of his. I watched a lot of skateboarding. Coming out this Bucky Lasek is Bart Simpson. Again, in really nice shape. A little bit of a little tear right there, but pretty good shape. Tim Dwight as Buzz Beamer. I don't know who Tim Dwight is. Oh, he was a wide receiver, I guess, for the Falcons. I should have known that by the Falcons jersey. Theo Fleury. Definitely remember watching him. It's Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats. Karl Malone. Latrell Sprewell. This one's cool. Tony Miola, longtime goalie or keeper, whatever you want to call him, for Team USA. Does not have a lot of cards. Isaac Bruce. Tony Amante. Blitz from the Seahawks mascot. It's another Iverson. Now this would be, I think this one is 97. No, this is 2001, 2002. Nicholas Vuilov, downhill biker. Nadine Mazzarali, so female hockey player with Minnesota. Sigmund Palffy, definitely remember that name. A couple more tech decks. I actually think those could do pretty well. Maybe I'll put them in a lot or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Jeff Kent. Mari Holden. Jason Giambi. Laura Wilkinson. Diver. Wayne Krebet. Tracy McGrady. Sean Burke. Goaltender. Back to some of those gold cards here. Pat Henkin. How cool is this? Peekaboo Street. She was a huge name. Alpine skier, won everything. A little bit of some paper loss there, but it was the Snow Queen. It's just amazing. And the paper loss on all these is on the back, for the most part. I think there's a couple early ones that had some damage on the front, but if the damage is on the back, it's not nearly as big a deal. Work done. Sarah Gardner for rowing. Natalie Williams. Dick Button, figure skater. Awesome. Lindsay Davenport. Mark Jackson. Mark Johnson, Olympic hockey player. It's from Madison, Wisconsin. How about that? Interesting. Tiffany Milbrett, another Team USA women's soccer star. Mike Hampton. Another tech deck. Here's a Bernie Williams, Yankee star. Rasheed Wallace. Kevin Carter. Larry Walker. Chris Aarons, a rower. Here's another Eric Burgquist. Burgoist. Bobby Convey, soccer. DC United. Here's Megan Major. This name sounds familiar too. For some reason, I know the wakeboarders. But yeah, crazy. Be interesting to see how these go, how these sell. Eric Kostin. Don't know him. Another skateboarder. And then Bobby Convey. Again. Couple of him. Alright, so then we'll get to the sleeved ones here. I might actually end up sleeving all of these because it's so hard to protect the perforations otherwise. Here's another Jackie Stiles, the WNBA. Patrick Ellis. and Kevin Brown. Alright, here's the sleeved stuff. So we've got a Tiger Woods. These do about 8 to 10, I believe. A Pete Sampras. I think this is considered a Pete Sampras rookie card. This is from 99. It's pretty cool. This one I'm really excited about. Mia Hamm as Matilda. Mia Hamm, the probably the biggest known name in women's soccer history. Married to Nomar Garciaparra, actually. Really nice shape. This is Steffi Graf. Her first Sports Illustrated for Kids card. The nice thing is all these sleeved ones are in really, really good condition too. Mamadou Diallo. Not sure why this is sleeved. I don't think that has a lot of value, but I guess we'll have to look. Lance Armstrong, one of his only cards. Of course, not as much of a legend as he once was. Oh, it's written on the back. I just noticed that now. It says Tom. Don't know what that's all about, but interesting. This one's cool. Shamu. The great whale from the San Diego Zoo, I think. Or maybe it was Disneyland. I don't know. Layla Ali. She was a boxer for a good while. Muhammad Ali's daughter. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's the only card of her. Christy Yamaguchi. Figure skater legend. Won a ton of medals. Marion Jones. We've talked about her earlier. She was the star sprinter in the U.S. at the time. David Duval rookie. Golfer. Barry Bonds. I think there's only a couple of Sports Illustrated cards of him because they weren't allowed to make them after that. So this is Ian Thorpe. Don't know much about him, so I'll have to look him up. But sleeved. So I didn't sleeve these. These were sleeved by the seller as like the best cards. It's early Dion, the Reds. Pretty cool. Jackie Joyner Kersey, her only card. Again, a huge famous name in the history. This guy was awesome. He was a water skier and his name was Freddy Krueger. And I remember them doing like pieces on him and stuff at the Olympics, and so that's pretty sweet. They don't get a lot of water skier cards. Dawn Stanley, another big name in the WNBA. And then here's a huge banger. Kobe as Dracula. It's in real good shape. I've seen these go as high as $50. So, huge one there. Here's another Kobe. Anything Kobe you can't go wrong with. I'm guessing maybe 15 to 20 on that one. I don't price my Kobe stuff cheap, so it might sit there for a bit, but I don't care. I'd rather hang on to it. Michelle Kwan, again, another legend in figure skating. Not a lot of cards for her. Another Kobe. Pretty awesome card there. Another 15 to 20 bucks for that. Cheryl Swoops. Huge name in the WNBA. Oh, this is an April Fool's one. I never even noticed this before. She's dribbling a giant basketball. How awesome is that? These cards just rock. A Venus Williams rookie card. Not quite as famous or as accomplished as her sister, but her sister is now retired. I think Venus is still playing. But anyway, there's a movie made about their lives and just very relevant in the sport and in the pop culture world. So I think that one's going to continue to grow. And then Michael Andretti. So I think this is his only racing card with Ford. So anyway, so that's what I've got for you in this video. It's a long video. There's a ton of content in here. $85 for this whole lot. Tell me what you think. How do you think I did? And does this give you a different perspective?